Janine, and I first apologize for my voice. I am losing it, and it's coming and going. But today I have yet another special guest, and I'm going to say all my guests to come are going to be special because they're joining me on this platform, so I'm super excited. Brittany and I have known each other for like
more than
a long time. Like, we're about to be out of college for freaking, oh my God, like 10 years.
It'll be, well, not more than 10.
Yeah, no,
about
we
9.
graduated in 10.
2010 is about to be 2020.
Yeah,
so
but we met in like 2000 and like.
Oh yeah, we did meet over there because I graduated 10 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yes,
and we're like,
years.
It's like, oh my God, we can't believe I've been out of college for that long.
Yeah.
So we have history, and you know, we went to college together. So today we're going to be talking about dating. Brittany and I have always, whenever we cross paths, we find some way to talk about like dating and just men and all that. So I was like, she would be the perfect person to share her experience with dating and just all that comes with it. But before we jump into the topic, I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about herself and her lovely business that she has.
Hi everyone. So I am the owner and operator of Perfectly Polished Me. I'm a nail educator, influencer. I mentor. I do coaching for up and coming nail artists in the beauty industry, and I'm from Pittsburgh, well, Aliquippa. I say Pittsburgh because it's too much to explain. But I was raised in Aliquippa, and I moved to Philadelphia 4 years ago, and I've been operating my business here for 4 years.
Does it feel like that long?
No, time is floating by. Time is floating by.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yep. So I'm in Germantown, ladies. If you want your nails done, I do everything.
If you don't know, I am married, and I have been married for 3 years, but I have been with my husband for almost 12 years. So I haven't dated any, like I haven't had to, other than like teenager, and if that would even be considered dating. So I haven't dated anyone but my husband, and as a, you know, and now that I'm a young woman, I don't know what it's like, but I was just saying to Brittany that sometimes I wonder, like, what if I was a single woman, like, what kind of person would I be dating? I don't know if I would be as outgoing, or would I be too emotionally attached, like, you know, all those things that I'm like, I don't even know where I would be, and I, you know, it just crosses my mind when I hear my friends and my family talk about like how stressful it is to date. So tell us a little bit about dating for you. Like, do you find dating stressful in itself?
It was at first. It was stressful, but I think now I'm in a place where I'm just having fun with dating because I've been through so much in relationships that I'm just having fun with it now. So I don't find it stressful now because I got, you know, some options.
Right. So when you say you find it fun now, it's not kind of like you're not really looking for something specific when you meet someone. Like before, were you looking for something specific that it wasn't as much fun in the beginning? Or
I think, yeah, because my last relationship, I kind of learned like what type of dater I was or what I was looking for. So like sometimes we attract certain things in certain people, and we don't realize like certain things about ourselves is what's drawing certain type of guys our way. Right. So I would say it was more stressful then because I wanted to be in a relationship, but then a part of me was doing the casual stuff. Right. But you know, and then I would be like, I didn't understand why I just kept getting in casual situations. Right. You know what I mean? When I'm dating, because I wasn't dating like with a purpose, and I wasn't like saying like this is what I want. And at that time, I didn't know that I didn't know what I wanted. Right. So it's interesting that it's not as stressful now because I know myself now a lot better than I did. Right. Before.
And if you guys saw last week, we were talking about, on the last topic, we talked a little bit about when a woman knows who she is and really what she wants, then she just starts to move differently. Exactly. You know, like when you're kind of like not sure of yourself, or you don't know what you're looking for, you're kind of just out here, you know, just trying to figure it out. But like you said, when you start to know what you want, you can have more fun with it. When I imagine dating, I imagine it being fun, or from what we see on TV, like it looks so much fun, and they go on dates and they go out all the time. But I think I had a conversation about my husband, and he was saying, I think it might be, I don't know if it's a Philly thing or just an African American community thing, but he was saying that whenever he would hear someone talk about I'm dating someone, he thought they were weird because like who says they're dating or like you know what I mean? So he was like, I thought that was weird. Like nobody says date, and I'm like, I think that's just a culture thing for some different cultures that we don't really date. You know, we call it we're talking, and then we
messing around,
right? You know, and but right, and but it
becomes
becomes emotions involved, and then the fun of it is out of it. You know. So and then you mentioned you know what kind of dater you are. What do you,
what does that
look like for you?
Now I'm comfortable with saying this is what I don't want.
Okay.
This is what I like. You know what I'm saying? And I'm more vocal, I think, when I'm dating. Because, you know, sometimes as women, like, we're like, oh, my God, he's not going to like me if I don't say this or do this. Or, you know, maybe I'll just hold on to this. And it's like, no, like, be upfront about what you want. Because I find with guys, like, if you show them one thing, it's kind of hard to renegotiate later. Like, because it's like, okay, you know, like even like with the sex thing, you know, like if you want to do that on the first date, but then like 6 months in, you feeling him and now you want to be his girlfriend, you're going to be weird with it. And then now he's going to be like, well, what the... I mean, that's how it popped off. So what you meant, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's kind of like hard to like renegotiate with them.
Yeah. And that is another thing where it's like you said, you don't know what you want, and if you know up front you're looking for a relationship, then you say that up front. But when you don't know, you're kind of just letting them in. That, I guess that's a question. Do you feel like when a woman doesn't know as much of what she wants while she's dating, that the man ends up being in more control of the situation?
Yeah, because I feel like they're just going off of what it seems. Like, you're not demanding what you want. And I don't even really want to say demanding because that's not how you want to come into anything anyway. But I'll say commanding, kind of. Because it's like the way you carry yourself and what you...
Like, this is what I...
Yeah, what you exhibit kind of shows, like, what you want. But just having that conversation, I feel like that will, like, put it all out there exactly what you want. Like, it won't be no miscommunication. So the guy won't... He'll know how to move if you're just, you know what I'm saying, open about what you want.
Since you say you've been in different situations and you've learned from your last relationship what you know what exactly you want. Are at this moment, do you feel like you're at a point of time in your life with dating that you're setting up time where I'm going to date for this amount of time before I start to look to be serious, or you're kind of like a go with the flow, read the person type of...
It's kind of both.
Okay.
I'm always reading people. I'm really big on vibes and energy. I would say right now, I feel like what is best for me is to take it slow and get to know someone without crazy expectations. It's funny because, you know, our mutual friend, Crystal.
Right.
When we were roommates, I would go on dates and I would be talking to her. And I would be like, because I need to know what this nigga is trying to do. And I'm going to ask him. And she would be like, Brittany, you do not have to know everything. Just go with the flow. You're just like a control freak. Like, you have to stop. Like, just go on this date. See where it go. I'm even like that with friends. Like, I'd be like, what type of tip is this chick on? You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like I'm right now in a space where I'm just, like, going with the flow. You know, just having fun. Because I feel like if I would have taken more time to know, you know, my ex or whatever, there are certain things I would have been able to pick up on. You know, and that's like no shade to any guys I've ever dated, but it's just like, if you take more time, you start to really, because our minds get clouded with the signs that we see. Like my aunt would say, don't ignore the writings on the wall, right? So I feel like if I spent more time just having fun and not putting so much pressure on wanting a relationship, that some things I could have spared myself from experiencing. So,
and I think just for me talking to, you know, my sister, my friends, my family, with that is something that I think a lot of women in general say. Like, you know, if I would have taken the time to not, you know, let things that I saw, but I pretended I didn't see them, because again, we all want to be loved, and we all want to be in a relationship. And when things start to feel right, when they feel a little off, we still, go to war, but it still feels good, So I think that whenever I hear, women talk about learning from it, the key point is like you really want to learn and not do the same thing again, right? Would you say that we can touch on dating here in Philadelphia and back home, how much of a difference, or I don't want to say struggle, but the difference of trying to meet people and dating
in both places,
right? In both places.
When I was in Pittsburgh and Aliquippa, obviously, like I knew them. I might not have known them personally, but I know someone that hangs out with them, their family, cousins, brothers, siblings or whatever. So I had an idea of the person I was about to date.
Right.
Whereas here, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm getting. Now, I do nails, so obviously, like, I service a lot of people. And sometimes this world is small. Like, you find people who know. But then it's like, you don't want to be putting your business out there with who you're talking to. And then it's like, damn, did I really want to put that out there that I'm talking to this person? But then it's like, you need to know. So, me going to IUP, and then I went to Lincoln for a hot second. I was always like, a social butterfly, so I always had no issue with making friends and being in certain social circles. So I do find people, like even on social media, I'll look at their mutual friends list. Yeah. And so it's harder to date here because again, sometimes you know somebody that might know that person, but they don't know them
enough,
enough to like say, girl, unless it's just something that's blatantly like about them that's out there. But other than that, like, it's harder here. I don't know. And Philly guys are different, like a lot more aggressive.
Okay.
And sometimes, they're married Islamically. And then that's a whole nother thing. And then they don't tell you they got a wife. And then it's just all this crazy stuff. I would rather date someone that's the same religion as me. So sometimes that's a challenge too.
Because Philadelphia is a huge.
Yeah. So that's a difference too. And so I think that's a part of like the struggle. And then men are men, so it's just certain things that don't even matter where you are.
Right. I think, like you said, men are just men, and everyone is not upfront and honest. Even with the thing about, even if you tell a man your expectations, like, we're just casually dating, I'm not looking for anything serious, they still feel the need to, like, leave certain parts out of, who they are. I think maybe men don't believe that a woman can really date them and not get attached because of, I heard that before. She said that she wasn't looking for anything, and then next week she wanted to be my boyfriend. So maybe that also makes men push back. And I'm not making excuses for why men choose to hide certain things, but I feel like maybe, I guess, someone close to me is not. She says she's going to date. She has it in her mind I'm a date, but then, feelings get involved, and then emotions, and then that's it. So I think that that's a challenge that men struggle with, I guess, as well, because us women are very emotional and our feelings take over sometimes, and you don't expect to like someone in a way, but again, we rush it sometimes, and then we realize in the end, like, I didn't even really like him like that. Like,
and then with them too, like, they always think somebody trying to control what they doing.
Right.
So it's like, just back to them being like afraid of, not all of them are afraid of commitment. But if they're not ready for that, then it's kind of like, they be hesitant. Whereas us, it's like we full throttle. Like, if we like somebody or we wanted to, be a relationship, then we're more, because we're just wired differently.
Right.
But again, based off of their experience with other women.
Right.
It gets, that's probably why they have those preconceived notions like, oh yeah, she's going to be like attached.
Do you feel like you've dealt with that a lot from the men that you dated, that they were viewing you in the same way as the women that they previously dated? Like, you felt like you kind of had to always not say it, but you could get the sense of maybe they are used to this type of woman and not her, and I have to show you that I'm not the same type of person.
I can tell by the stuff that they think I'm gonna put up with.
Okay. Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Not keeping it real about, like, I'm a big, like, communicator. So, like, you know, in previous relationships that I had, I've experienced some guys who really, like, I had one ex that was terrible with communication.
Okay.
Like, didn't like answering questions. And I mean, will blatantly like not answer your question.
Okay.
Like, you'll be like, so what'd you do today?
Right.
And he don't answer
That's
your
right.
question. So, you know, it's just like, what woman really puts up with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then like, just not, you know, taking 24 hours to respond and 48 hours doing an argument and stuff like that. Like, that's not communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it's just like, these are grown men who act this way. And it's just like, what woman of substance is really gonna
deal with
that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the lying and all that stuff, and then not calling at certain hours and not answer, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who put up with that type of stuff.
And the unfortunate thing that makes it, men do these things because there was a point in time that some woman
Accepted
or women, multiple, accepted it, right? And something interesting that I really want to touch on, and I think, so we live from, you know, I'm looking from the outside looking in, but I think we live in a society now that materialistic things, I feel like it went through like this phase of like materialistic things, and it went down to like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal to have. Now it's like we're back in like this materialistic world of like having the most expensive purse and expensive shoes, and now I think men have come to a conclusion like, if I'm able to buy her this expensive bag or the shoes, that this is then she'll tolerate certain things. So for you as a woman who is established, independent, do you find that men, while you're dating, view it that way based on like materialistic status with you to try to get you to accept certain things, even while you're on a casual date or whatever? Like, do you find that that is something that, or you agree that that's something that, you know, men are now using?
To be honest, I've never really had boyfriends like be that way to me.
Okay.
When they buy me things, you know, they just buy me things. It's never, oh, it was like a fight prior or like a, you know, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
Interesting enough, all my designer stuff I bought myself. So like I've never like dated guys like that.
Right. Okay.
However, I have had friends, you know, that I've seen accept gifts and stuff like that when they guy is out here screwing this person and that person. But me personally, I've never went through that. Now, guys that I just talked to, who I never, like I might have been casual with, hanging out with, they will.
Right.
But like boyfriends that I've had, they're not materialistic themselves. So
to go through that. Yeah. How do you feel about that though? Like, how do you feel about the time that we're in, where women are becoming, I guess, turn a blind eye to what's really happening in their situations, because in order, not, I don't say in order like it's an exchange, but to ignore it but to walk around with this persona of, but I have all these things.
It's based off of many variables, right? You have some women who really have a strong attachment to material things, whether it's Chanel bags, shoes, everybody got their vice. It could be the attachment to being a certain type of way or perceptions to people, like even the whole Instagram social media thing. Oh, I'm addicted to or attached to being presented this way, or this lifestyle. That comes with maturity. Again, your values, what's important to you, where are you at, like, you know what I mean? You're like, how are you to the core? Like, I know for me, like, I'm not as attached to material things as I used to be when I lived in Pittsburgh. You know, being in Philly, I have learned how to really humble myself because I've been through a lot, like with my whole journey here. So, me personally, I don't have like a personal attachment to like all that stuff anymore, just because other things are more important. But I do feel like it has to do with the maturity of the woman, her values, what's important, and some people will sell their soul for stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just again, it could go to healing too. Like, what is it about me that's not healed that I feel so fulfilled temporarily when I get material things? Why am I not jeopardizing, but why am I compromising my sanity, my personal I don't know how I feel about myself. Why am I allowing this stuff to why am I compromising my peace of mind for
things,
a purse or a trip, a vacation or a car or whatever? Like, that has to do with the person.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned a good point about peace of mind. Like, I think as you get to a certain point in your life and you, like you said, you go through certain things, like just having peace and a peace of mind and a clear mind, you know what I mean? Like that is because, again, like you said, you only get temporary like healing when you get those things. You only can put on a mask for so long, because at the end of the day you have to still go home to that relationship, to that man, whatever you want to call it, and that bag is, or them shoes, or whatever that like you said, the thing that you're attached to that's materialistic, that can't do anything for you internally.
No.
And then we have the guys who you're dating that take advantage of those situations. When you see and I don't know if men, when they're dating, I think they're able to kind of identify a woman who they feel, I can get her this and she'll be okay with it. You know? So they take advantage of that, and then they draw, and then they feel that's when they end up thinking that every other woman that they meet is the same way, or they tolerate certain things. So I think that is the struggle, and like you said, just the maturity of a woman, and just knowing who you are is really an important part of it. And that's just in dating in general, just knowing who you are and what you want and what you expect. And I think, like you said, not being afraid to say what you want, because I think even for me, just as before I was married and while I'm married, sometimes being afraid to say what I want because I'm afraid of the answer, and I had to stop myself. I can't let me being afraid to say what I want because I'm afraid of what is going to be said back to me, because all that is going to allow me to just keep whatever I have inside bottled up. So if I'm dating someone and I know that he might want to be serious and I don't, and I'm just going along with it and letting him think that I'm want to be serious, and then I end up hurting him, and then I'm in something that I don't want to be in. Do you find while you've been dating that men do want to be serious and you are not really looking for that?
I've been in situations like that. Or it might be a point where I might have been into them, but something as small as having bad breath turn me off, and I'm like, damn, I'm on a whole nother wave. Like, I'm cool. Like, so I've experienced that. Most guys would tell you that I've ever dated, I'm very honest. Like, blatantly honest. About I mean, even my friends tell you I say what I'm thinking, and I like to be honest because I would want somebody to treat me that way. Like, if you ain't feeling me, come on now, just tell me, because I can go about my business and get my injury to somebody else. So I'm very, very honest. Even when guys, like a couple guys was trying to shoot their shot with me today on Facebook, and I was just like, I am so not entertaining anything right now. No, thank you. Like, I'll say that. Like, I'm not a very shy, passive person. So
I mean, that's a good point, because I think obviously most women might just ignore it, but oh my God, we got my face. But to even just say like I'm entertaining it is closes the door, because I think when you don't say anything, they gonna keep on.
They think she just playing.
Right. I mean, obviously there are the ones who, when you say I'm entertaining it, gonna still keep thinking you are entertaining it. And where would you say is the most attractive place where you find you are meeting people? Like, is it? I always, and this is funny, I always tell my cousin and my husband's cousin, because he's like almost 40, him and a wife. I'm like, we gotta find you a wife. And I'll be like, go to Target, go to the gas station, but go to the good Wawa. Like, I'm always like, just go like early in the morning, people going to work. So I feel like these are the places that I see people at. Like, if I was dating, like, oh, look at what girl she, but where would you say you find you're meeting people or people are kind of interacting with you, even if you're not entertaining it, but you find that every time I go this place, men are trying to.
It's interesting. I meet guys in the most darnest places. Like, I met one guy in the Uber. Like, I drive Uber sometimes.
Okay.
I met a guy in the Uber once. Another guy I dated, I met him kind of like through a business thing. Like, we had a mutual friend who recommended me to use this guy's services in his business, and so I used his services, and then that's how we met. I was in my workout clothes. I was looking a hot ass mess, and he still wanted to take me out, so I randomly met him like that. And then how else? I rarely ever meet guys at bars and stuff. Like, I do, but those are always casual situations. It seemed like I've never met a boyfriend at a bar. I don't think so. And then another guy I dated, I met him at work. So it's always when I'm least expecting it, and it's always when I'm in a place where I'm like okay with being single. And then I'm like, and then boom, like somebody just, come up. So
when would you say you were, when you were at the point where you were okay with being single?
When I'm no longer like hurt. And I feel healed from like the situation, when I can run into that person that, I was dating or whatever, and I literally don't have any feelings about like sleeping with them or going back down the path, or I don't have any like sadness, and I'm just strictly okay with just, being on speaking terms, or even if I don't want to be cool with them, I don't have a lot of like hate in my heart or like any type of ill will. Then I'm like, I'm over it. And then another thing too is if I'm able to literally go on a date with someone else, or if I'm able to entertain someone else, or even be sexual with someone, then I'm like, wow, I'm really like disconnected from that person.
Yeah. Would you say, if you feel comfortable sharing with us, what would you suggest to someone who's trying to get over someone and they want to date, but also trying to give them advice on like, if you are going to do it, have fun. Like, what would you say would be the best tips or strategies for a woman that's going through this, or trying to recover from a breakup or something? Yeah, and just trying to, like, you want to meet someone, but then you don't know how to, and like you said, maybe in a long-term relationship, you don't know how to get out there, but you don't want to jump back into another relationship, so you might want to have that fun thing going, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I would say have fun with it, take it seriously, but like cover all the bases. But don't take it so serious where you're like giving guys on the first date like, oh, and these are my expectations. And I don't do this, and I'm demanding this, and da-da-da-da. Because guys don't like, when women come in with like all these demands, they want to be kind of organic. And I would just say, don't come in here with all these like lists of things that, your ideal man is going to be. Because what I've learned about love is that, it's really, can I tolerate this person? I think that's what it is. Like, okay, everyone has their own style, right? Like, I love the way I love, my style of communication, my style of love, my love language. Everything about me is unique. The same as everything about him is unique. So is there, like, can I take him with him and his mess and who he is? Can I tolerate it at the end of the day? Like, when sex is not enough, when we're just frustrated with one another, like, is this person my friend? And I think what women need to do when they're dating is like really form a strong friendship first. Again, not going in there with these lists of things like, oh, you got to be vegan, you got to be 6'9", you got to be making six figures, like, and just like get to know them. I feel like that. So have fun with dating and having options, like going on multiple dates, not just for the free meals, but I mean the free meals be cool, but not just for the free meals and the drinks and the whatever. Like just really like getting to know them and being honest with yourself. Like, you're great, but this ain't my husband. Or like he can be a late night call, casual situation, or just someone you might talk good business with, or it's always a mutual beneficial friendship or relationship, even if it doesn't go
the way that
to a relationship. You can always still like gain something from it, because everybody meet for a reason. So I would just say have fun with dating, really know your, like, really take time with your mental health. Like, I feel like I learned that in my last situation. I always thought that I was like the best communicator because I'm always honest, open, and I say how I feel, but I learned in my last situation that I was not always a good listener, and that's a part of good communication as well. Right. So when I was going to my therapist, because I frequent a therapist like twice a month, and just having that outlet to talk and just sort out my feelings and my emotions and my thoughts, I learned that about me. Like, well, wow, like I'm really not a good communicator either. Like, even though I answer questions, I'm very thorough. Like, if I'm doing something, I communicate that, but I was not a good listener. So also taking the time to learn things about yourself to be a better partner,
and when you go into
for someone else, you know what I mean? Not just take from the other person. You want to also say, well, how can I be a good, you know, woman, wife, or mother, or daughter, whatever. Like, I feel like just working on yourself and having fun with dating, and not making it so I gotta know this, I gotta know that, you know. So
well, it looks like you finally, you know, took Crystal's advice.
Started
to have fun, and you know, I think we just, I am someone who, my sister told me at the time, like, go with the flow, and I'm like, I just have all these questions, I want to know where I'm going, like, and it's hard for me to just let go of that part of wanting to always know. But like you said, sometimes it's like the least you know, sometimes the better it can be for you to have a better time when you're not, you know, up front. Like, if it's a date and you gonna just go for the meal, and you don't, and you know if you knew he had 6 kids, you wouldn't have been talking to him. But maybe it was like, I was bored, I went on a date tonight. He didn't tell me he had 6 kids, so after we left, it was like, cool, whatever. I had a good time. I ain't ever got to talk to him again. But if he told me at the table, all I'm be thinking about these 6 kids, like, you know what I mean? So what am I? You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes it's better to know less when you know that you're not looking for anything in particular. Now, obviously, if you're looking for your husband and you know on this date, I know I want to be, then those are things you want to know.
And you want to say that, like, to them. I feel like it works great with guys when you, like, show what you want, how, like, you know what I mean? Like, and again, like, you know, just going with the flow, just getting to know somebody, and like, don't go on a date like, so what's your intentions with me? You know, because I'm da-da-da-da. And I used to do stuff like that. I've even went on dates and was like, and you're not getting no ass. So don't think we fucking, because we not. I used to do stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God.
And the guy probably thinking like,
I ain't even come. Now I'm turned off because you really, now you think less of me. Like, that's an insult. You know what I mean? So we don't think of those type of things.
We're just thinking that men are all the same. And it might be, obviously, all men, their end goal is to have sex, but that might not be what I'm thinking at this moment.
And you say that to me, it's like, damn, now I'm going to defense. So maybe saying something like, what are your, like, dating goals? Like, you know, something like that. And then they might be open, like, wow, okay. So I feel like it's just all about, like, language, like verbiage. And we have to also, as much as we as women don't want men to look at us as the woman before or the next, we also have to look at the same. We don't want to have men treating them as the same way other men treated us, you know, and that's something that I think as women we end up just going in with these expectations and these forceful demands, because we're almost still angry and upset and haven't got over our last relationship that we're kind of, you know, passing on to the next. So have fun, you know. I think even when, like you said, the important part that you said was about building a friendship. And once you are friends with someone and able to, then you can tolerate them, because you know, that was one thing I've always said for my husband and I. We've always been good friends, and sometimes when I hate him, but it's like he's still my friend, and you know, all these things that we go through, these emotions, but we still were friends and got to know each other. And at the end of the day, I always think back, if something was to ever happen, he would still be my friend, that I could still have that communication. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I'm so glad you were able to come on here and talk about this. I think it's something that a lot of women are out here struggling with, and you know, everyone is in this weird phase of like trying to find your husband, trying to find your next man,
or trying to figure out how to get out of a dating situation that you didn't want to be in, and now you're in it. And I also think that one other important thing that I've learned, like, I'm still dating. You know, my husband, I can't forget, like, we still need to have fun. We still need to date. Like, those things where it's like things that you just forget about when you get into a relationship that you don't think you need to date and have fun, and it just kind of goes out the door, you know? So we all have to have fun and have a good time. If you could name dating in one word, what word would you use for your dating life right now? One word.
I would say that it is. I don't know. It's fun.
Fun. Okay. Fun. Okay. And mine is married. I know that is. But I thank Brittany for coming on. Make sure you guys. Make sure you guys follow her at Perfectly Polished Me. Correct?
Yes.
Brittany is, so sweet. I'm sure her clients love talking to her. I'm sure she gives them all the tips and the everything they probably want to hear when they come in with their.
Some of them won't say I'm sweet.
Right.
They'll be like, she's so tough on us.
But that's what kids you care, like building that
do.
relationship with them and being able to share these tips. I'm sure they appreciate it. Like, girl, Brittany was right. She told me. I'm sure she told me.
And we like therapists.
Right.
Nail techs, hairstylists, makeup artists. We like to know everything about our clients. But, it's, it's all good.
Don't forget to make sure that you like and comment, share. If you want to share some dating, or if you agree with something, or if you want to share in the comments some dating tips for other women, please do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to have fun. That is the most important thing in life. Have fun, have options, and not take it too serious. So I will see you guys soon.